Hi everyone, my name is Morgan Rios, and today I'm going to talk to you about my research named Scrolling to Sweat, the influence of social media content on physical activity. I'm going to kind of go through this briefly. I know 5 minutes isn't a lot of time. So to start off with the rationales to the study, there's conflicting literature surrounding physical activity and social media uses relationship. We aim to investigate the potential impact that health and fitness content specifically has on physical activity outcomes such as total physical activity, gym environment preference, while also considering some relevant psychosocial variables. So the existing literature on physical activity, it's a major issue that we have as a society. We tend to live sedentary lifestyles, we drive a lot, we sit a lot, and physical inactivity is a risk factor for non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. And some concerning research has found that by 2030, 499.2 million new cases of preventable major non-communicable diseases would occur. And if that's not scary enough, this would cost approximately $47.6 billion per year. So this study focused on college students, and college students in general are not particularly active. 34.3% of college students around the globe report that they never exercise, which is very concerning. 32.5% reported participation in physical activity less than 3 times per week, and 15.8% exercise once per week. Population in general tend to like their cell phones a lot, right? They're very technology driven. And since 2015, excessive use of social media has become a public health concern. Some studies have suggested that there's a negative correlation with physical activity due to the sedentary nature, right? We sit, we scroll, we don't really move. And then some studies have suggested a positive correlation due to it providing support, online social support, and motivation. So the methodology for our study here, we actually collected data from a larger study titled Beyond Filters, Exploring Social Media Effects on Social Physique Anxiety, Physical Activity, which is currently being prepared for my thesis. So as to the sample, we filtered out failed attention checks, which left us with 837 participants. It's also important to note that it was a predominantly female sample, 640 were. And it was also predominantly first-year college students and Hispanic. So this study was posted online on Question Pro through Sona, so the measures were self-report. We did develop 7 unique items for measuring health and fitness content, and then we also had 2 items for environment preference. How likely are you to choose working out in public? How likely are you to choose working out in private? So our main hypothesis here was that a higher engagement of health and fitness content would be significantly associated with positive attitudes towards physical activity, lower endorsements of social norms surrounding physical appearance, and positive perceived health status with lower levels of social physique anxiety. Ultimately, these positive psychological outcomes would predict positive physical activity outcomes. So we did account for covariates. We had sex, college classification, BMI, socioeconomic status, and anxiety. And for our analyses, we used SPSS to conduct 3 total hierarchical linear regression models. Model 1 was just the covariates, Model 2 was health and fitness content, and Model 3 included our psychosocial variables. So as to our results here, you can see our figures for total physical activity. Figure 2 was for public environment, and figure 3 was private environment. Our 2 overall models were only significant for total physical activity and public environment preference. Private environment preference was not significant. So as you can see, health and fitness content had associations with all of our psychosocial variables. However, it went and predicted our physical activity outcomes over and above them. So health and fitness content had positive associations with attitude, perceived physical health, and social norms, which kind of adds to the existing literature that social media can be used as a motivational tool for exercise. With its negative associations with social physique anxiety and private preference. It's kind of suggesting that this type of content may capture more informative, functionally focused imagery rather than like selfies or like aesthetic pictures. In turn, this is reducing an individual's like preoccupation with their appearance. In turn, that's increasing intrinsic motivation, which is very important when looking at behavioral outcomes. Our main takeaway here is that although our results indicate that engagement with health and fitness content may enhance attitudes towards exercise, our perceived health, increase our internalization of social norms, and reduce social physique anxiety, it's still uniquely predicted our physical activity outcomes, our behaviors, and our environment preferences, suggesting that other variables may serve as more critical mechanisms, which we hypothesized might be motivation as we didn't account for it. And it's also important to note that this was a cross-sectional study, so the temporal direction of these relationships could differ. And that is my time. I look forward to talking about my research and hearing everyone's feedback.